Everyone. My name is Bobby Horsley, and I have been in the HVAC field for over 25 years. I took a day off today, and this is actually my first podcast that I am actually doing. And I wanted to talk about what's going on in my field, what I'm doing in my field, what things are happening in the field, and how I can actually help people. I don't want no money for it, because I mean everything don't have a monetary value. And this is my first podcast, so this is actually my first time stepping out trying to do this. And one of the gratifying things that I can say that I had the opportunity to experience is meeting different people with different ideals and wanting different things within their life. So one of my things that I always promised myself that I would do is that when I go to a customer's home, my first objective is not to do no harm, which I think is a viable thing because they just want the problem fixed. And that's my second solution to resolve the problem. Uh, a lot of our newer technicians now who's in the field, and I can't blame them, because they only going to do what they are taught. And I think the failure in the industry now is that when we come to our technicians that we don't offer better training. We don't send them to an internship program. When I first got into this field, I had to work for a company and I worked at the bottom. I mean, the absolute bottom. I had to earn my stripes. I had to learn how to put ductwork together, how to properly install it under a house, in the attic, or even on the outside of the house back 20, 30 years ago was the way that they did it because they really didn't want to mess with the interior of the house too bad, other than to make the holes for the vents. And they try to limit that as much as possible then. But a basic attic with the air handler, either horizontal or vertical, was the ideal way to do it. So now these guys get out of school and go straight into trying to clean people units and service it and don't even know what the components of the unit is or how they work. So I think that may be one of the detriments. And I may be wrong. I may be too hypercritical over these people, but I can go by what I see when I go on a service call on something that's very basic that don't get resolved. And the bad issue is a lot of the things that goes on in our field is basically due to knowledge. People don't know what they're doing. They may have worked in the field 1 or 2 years. I think a good service technician should actually be in the field for at least 5 years just doing installation, learning the equipment, learning how to put it in, and getting so familiarized with it that they can do it with their eyes closed. Now, you got to be retrained again from putting in a system to knowing every accrement of that system when it's in different conditions. And it takes time to do that. So a lot of cost savings can come from where you have the right person to tell you what the symptoms of your system is, what it's doing, and how to resolve it. You know, um, Been in the field, working with some of the bigger companies, and seeing how they conduct their business. And I won't say no names because I don't think that's fair to them. Every business is out here to try to make money viable, that they trust that what they teach their technicians, they're abide by. So I would say that for some companies. But systemically, a lot of these guys are going out and opening their own businesses and doing it under the table and actually doing more hurt than help because they don't have the knowledge to get out there and correctly diagnose it. See, the thing that I try to deliver to every customer is value. So when I go in their home, I'm going to verify that that's the problem. I feel it's only electrical and mechanical. And when I say electrical or mechanical, me as a service tech, when I come to your home, my first job is to see if it's an electrical problem. Maybe you've blown a fuse. maybe the circuit breaker popped, maybe a fuse on the board popped. It could be a couple different things. If you got a gas furnace, the pilot light might not be lit, so when it goes through its stages, it may lock itself out. It doesn't knowing that. And I think that if a person does not stay at a customer's home more than 30 minutes, they've done you a disjustice, especially in the summertime. We'll discuss that a little more towards the summer, some of the things to look out for, and some of the things that you should see. I'm going to try to start doing more podcasts. I'm going to see how this one goes and see if I get any hits from it. People can always sign up at my email for my email sign-ups to get my weekly newsletter where I talk about different things to save you money as far as maintenance-wise, your filters, when your system is doing things wrong. And also, you have the email where you can respond back and tell me if you have a question that I may answer for you. That I may have to do some research on, and I would tell you that, by the way, and I would get you an answer to the questions you may have. So I think my site, my email newsletters and stuff is going to be very informative. I'm going to be very honest with you, and I stand by everything I say, and I will have written proof. If I need to attach something for you, to give you paperwork where you can verbally see, literally see it yourself, what it said, code, whatever. So just hit me up and let me know how you think of my first podcast. It's a beautiful day outside, so I said, why not do it now? And I'm going to take my glasses out and say thank you. Thank you for taking the time out to listen to me.